Welcome to episode 54.
54.
Oh, is that it? I thought you were going to add something else. It sounded like you were about to add something else. I guess not.
No. 1954 is the year that Burger King came about, we learned. Because all the Burger Kings here are massive. And they also have I think it says since 1954 on it, or established 1954, something like that.
All right, didn't know that.
Yeah, because it said here that's the year my dad was born, so Burger King's as old as my dad.
Wow, you must love it.
Do you know, I don't even know if he does.
There we go. Well, I don't think many people go, but, well, obviously they do, but everyone always talks about McDonald's, don't they? Burger King isn't really... KFC and McDonald's, I feel, are talked a lot more.
Yeah, I feel like they dominate, and I wonder how old McDonald's is. I'm guessing older.
I'm going to guess older. But in Montenegro, they seem to be big Burger King fans because we've just seen lots of Burger Kings everywhere, and they're big. There was one particular one that was... it might be one of the biggest in the world, actually.
It was huge.
It was huge because they don't get that big. I know the biggest McDonald's in the world is in... I think it's the US, and it has 4 floors or something.
Oh.
But even then, it's not crazy big. So I think for a fast food place, I bet you that's one of the biggest that we saw.
I think so. Yeah, we know in Kosovo as well. I saw a lot of Burger Kings and not any McDonald's.
Do they have vegan options?
They do. They do a plant-based Whopper, and they do a flame-grilled plant-based Whopper. Although it's labelled as plant-based because it's cooked on the same grill as the meat burgers, but their vegan chicken burger is vegan society accredited because that's cooked separately.
Vegan approved. That's nice because I'm sick of McDonald's being so crap with vegan. No breakfast is vegan, and I don't think they even have a vegan... Well, they probably have a vegan burger. But...
Yeah, they do a vegan burger.
But it's really mediocre. Come on.
I think it's pretty... What? So I don't... When I order it...
No, I mean, sorry, the offering is mediocre.
Oh, the number, yeah.
It's you got this one burger and of course you can have chips and that's it. There's no vegan breakfast. There's not even vegetarian breakfast.
You can have a hash brown.
You can have a hash brown. No, they don't have veggie sausages, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that would be so easy for them to do because even Greg's do it now, a veggie sausage sarnie.
Yeah, I'm surprised how slowly they move on that, but there we go. I'm not happy.
Why is Scott not happy?
Because we've got sent an email and it basically they've gone. It's an SEO company, a podcast SEO company, and they've mentioned they want to do some stuff for us. But what I'm not happy about is that the top 3 rankings are for hashtags apparently. Oh, sorry, for the keywords on Spotify are hilarious escapades, which I like, number 65 apparently, so that's awesome. But the other 2 are Shelby, which hurt, but the second one hurts a lot, the third one hurts a lot more, is Shelby and Erica. So not only is my name not there, but also the other keyword is Shelby and someone else who is not on this podcast. I assume is another popular podcast.
How though? Have they found us through Shelby and Erica?
No, they've done an SEO check on all the keywords, and then we've come up as trending. So they've probably looked at these keywords and see which podcasts are trending, and then they've probably just emailed them all.
Yeah, but I don't understand. How is Erica? How?
I don't know. We've never mentioned the name Erica up until now. But maybe because Shelby is more of a unique name, because your name's over it, maybe that's why, that's it. It's not the Erica. It's strange. And then for Apple Podcasts...
Do you reckon it's because we sometimes talk about America?
Oh, that's a bit ridiculous if it is. If it is...
I was thinking, what could it be mistaken for? So, Shelby, America, and Erica. I reckon that's what it's come from. It's surely. We've never once said Erica apart from the 20 times we've said it already.
But if that's true, then I don't get this because my name is mentioned a lot more. Why isn't my name there?
Do we say yours as much? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, we're gonna say it a lot this episode. I can tell you that because I'm not happy.
Scott.
There we go. Shelby's the star of the show. She's gonna quite clearly, when we get this podcast famous, gonna be the one that everyone talks about. And quite frankly, I'm not happy about that.
Well, maybe it's because there's an air of mystery around me. No one knows what I look like. So maybe they'll be like, like you said before, it'd be like the steak, like, will she unmask herself? Will she ever reveal her face on the social media? And the answer to that is most probably no.
Probably not, no. Well, no, that does help. But again, it's helping your brand, isn't it? I want some attention.
I want to give you all the attention.
I want some attention. No, I'll be humble. I don't, but I really do. But anyway,
Send Scott fan mail.
Send me lots of fan mail. But there's another thing that it's not that I'm not happy about, but emotional about. I've officially left my job.
You have.
As of yesterday, and I don't really want to talk about it too much because I'm still processing it. So we're not going to get into it too much because it was my last day yesterday. It was like super emotional because like every meeting in my agenda was like goodbye Scott, farewell Scott, final meeting with Scott. Like, oh my god, it was just all like honestly the titles of all the meetings were hilarious. But it was, it was lovely. Like everyone was just, being super nice, singing my praise. Like I got a lot of attention yesterday. Maybe that's why I want more. But no, I really appreciate it. And I absolutely love, working for the company. I loved, everyone there. I had a great time. It was a tough decision, but it was just the right decision for me. It was just, I want to rechalk my career, find something else. Marketing isn't inspiring me as much these days. Again, it's not a company thing, it's just me personally. I want to sort of take a break and sort of think, let's sort of change this up a bit. Let's try find something out there that makes me a bit more passionate, a bit more inspired to get up and do every day. So I'm going to take some time, chill on the beach for the next couple of months, watch my sister get married, which will be beautiful. Have some stag do's, some amazing hikes with friends, meet up with family, etc. Got lots of social occasions coming up in these couple of months, and then in a couple of months I'll get my head back to the drawing board and we'll start getting on with it. And I'll update you guys as soon as that's figured out. I have got some ideas, but I just want to take it slowly. I don't want to rush into anything.
Yeah. Which is right, absolutely. I mean, you've had a very long career at the same thing, and I think taking that break, you've thought about it a long time. You've made the right choice for you, and now you can enjoy the fruits of your labour and relax for a while.
Yeah, it is nice. I've been in marketing for 10 years, worked full time for all that time, so it's nice just to have a break in it because you go from job to job to job to job. You never take a break outside of your holidays, and even that. Then on your holidays, you're going on more, you're travelling and you're seeing people, and usually that exhausts you even more than the job. So you never really pause. So it's nice to just pause for a bit. So I think it'll be positive. I look forward to it. But yeah, that's what's going on. There's all sorts going on. I'm leaving Shelby this weekend. I'm off on...
You said that's it, I've had enough of her.
I've had enough of her. I'm having a stag, not my stag do. That'll happen in 6.5 years. And why is that, Shelby?
Because Scott will not ask me to marry him until 10 years into our relationship. But you're forgetting one crucial detail there. The question's got to be asked, but it's also got to be answered.
Well, that is true. Might get 10 years in and she might say no, and then I go, balls. So, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We will.
Yeah. But yeah, stag does my young sister's getting married, so I'm excited for that. Barcelona, that's going to be fun. 30 lads though.
That's
Jesus
a lot.
Christ. 30 lads.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
It'll be
fun.
good. I don't think anyone's going to let us into their bar. 30 British lads, that's pretty intimidating, isn't it?
Well, what you need to ask for is uno grande paella de verduras
Oh my goodness, what's that mean?
para 30 personas.
What's that mean?
A big vegetable paella for 30 people.
That's going to get us in their bar.
No, I suppose not.
No, well, they might appreciate the Spanish.
Maybe they'll appreciate the Spanish reviews. They might just be like, you are hammered. Go away.
Yeah. No, fingers crossed. I mean, I'm excited. I'm not a big drinker. I'm really not. I'm not. If you think I'm a lad and go, well, boys, lads, save the queen. I'm not that person. I couldn't be any further from that person. As a teenage boy, sure, I got involved in that sort of loud mentality, but, in my mid-20s to 30, I'm just like, easy cheesy. More like a chilled out, ultra runner Yogi Bear.
That is you. Ultra runner Yogi Bear.
Yeah, I'm not like super hippy dippy, but I like it. But yeah, so but I still enjoy it. It'll be a laugh. It'll be like, you can't not enjoy the energy, like, when it's all a bunch of friends, well, to be fair, I don't know half of them, but you're gonna have a laugh, so I'll have fun. But
strangers today, friends tomorrow.
Well, exactly. I'm worried about the amount of drinking, but apart from that, it'll be great.
Yes, well, as long as you make sure that you stay hydrated, because I think that Barcelona will be very mucho calor.
Mucho calor, and
very
for
hot.
the English speakers?
Yes, it will be very hot in Spain.
Wow, Shelby's got excellent Spanish.
I'm quite fluent, actually.
Wow, you've been telling me off for saying that to people.
I'm so not fluent though, that's a funny thing. I have been doing an excellent course. Shall I give it a shout out? I feel like I should.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's called Spanish with Leela. Leela is a wonderful Mexican lady who lives in Scotland now, and she runs an online course. I've done level 1 and level 2 with her. I will do level 3 at some point. Recommend it.
Yeah, it's been going well, isn't it? And I always introduce, whenever we meet people who have got some Spanish heritage, or, I always say, oh, well, Shelby speaks it fluently. And it got to a point where Shelby had to tell me to stop doing it because it was making her feel uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, because we went to see your auntie and uncle in Isle of Wight, and your auntie's Ecuadorian, and then Scott's suddenly like, oh, Shelby speaks Spanish fluently.
Well, it's just you've always been very good at it. Like, I know you
because
don't speak it fluent.
Hola, como estás when we walk into a shop.
Yeah, you're confident with it, and you're able to hold down like a conversation reasonably. Like, now I'm sure I know you'll be even better because you've been doing a lot of classes.
Well, a little bit. Like, I know a reasonable amount of conversational Spanish, but I don't know any, like, I couldn't speak in the past tense or the future, you know what I mean? Like, I can speak present tense, ask questions such as where is something, but then if it's not asked exactly as I've learnt it, then I go, what? They just said,
Yeah.
I can pick up quite a bit. Like, if it's in, like, I've been trying to watch, I've been watching Love is Blind Argentina, and I've been watching it with Spanish subtitles, and I've been picking up things like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh, I don't know that, but I'll remember that.
I think that's a really good way of carrying on your language is, podcasts, and subtitles on, or, for shows. I think that's a great way of learning, and something you can continually digest even in your downtime without feeling too strained.
Well, the way that I did that was I put dubs on, so I had English dubs but Spanish subs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you could do it the other way. Like, it depends, I suppose, if you're practicing your reading or listening.
Yeah.
But I've even been, when I've been watching it, I've been like, they've translated that not verbatim. They've changed that for context, or they've changed it for...
Right, so you've seen, some are not direct translations, just for ease.
Exactly.
Right.
So, like, they'll say something like, I'm looking forward to getting married, and I can't remember it exactly. Like, I'm looking forward to being my husband was actually what it was, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a slight difference, a nuance. I'm like, interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We went to Kotor on the weekend, which is a beautiful town on the coast. Is it a town or a city?
It's a municipality, I think. Is that the right?
Oh, right.
No, it's not a municipality, is it?
It did say that.
Did it say that?
Yeah, it did say that, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a municipality, which sounds much better than a town or a city.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Wow, I'd recommend it if you're in Montenegro, if you're in Podgorica. Podgorica is a pretty well-placed capital, really, because you get the capital of the country, so, you get everything that the country will provide there. But what's great is, you're right next to the borders of all the other countries, and you're only a couple of hours from, places like Kotor, the lake Kotor or something, which is beautiful. You're not too far from the national park. It's pretty amazing. It's a well-placed capital city. Kotor was beautiful. A bit more touristy, but it was still beautiful. Seemed to attract a lot of Americans and young Americans and Australians.
Yes, absolutely. That everywhere was either an Aussie or an American, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't give me the vibe of a place you would go like with a big group of friends to get, have a sort of lads or, women doesn't sound like the word, right? Lasses, holiday, but I guess it is. The Old Town was excellent.
Old Town was beautiful. You said, and as soon as you said it, I couldn't unsee it. It was so much like Amalfi. In southern Italy, really like narrow, windy streets with cafes, restaurants, wine tasting shops, really like old brick buildings, like a church, and it's just really pretty, wasn't it? It was lovely to walk around cobbledy streets.
I would say Amalfi, but bigger.
Yeah,
and I much preferred it to Amalfi. But it is very similar to Amalfi. I
would agree, yeah. I loved Amalfi, but yeah, I would say that it's even nicer than... And the water, my God.
Oh my God, the water's stunning.
It was the bluest. Like, you talk about blue water, it was sapphire. Like, it was so, not even like a lighter. It was blue, wasn't it? Like, it was just proper blue.
Well, we even had a boat tour to a cave that literally is called the Blue Caves because the water's so blue it reflects and makes the cave... roof blue.
It was very cool. I didn't notice that the roof was blue. I just noticed that.
That was the point of it.
Oh, really?
You don't remember? We looked down and it was a blue.
No, I looked at the water.
Oh, it was funny, girl.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but I mean the water was more interesting. To be fair, that was a pretty cool boat tour. We went into a submarine base, which is like a secret submarine base, which was really sick. There was even a boat that was blown up under the sea. We saw we saw a ship and a boat that had been. There was two sort of shipwrecks. We went past Mussolini's concentration camp, which is pretty dark. And what's fucked up is...
Oh yeah, they've now turned it into a luxury 5-star resort for millionaires.
So I think it started out as it's like a very isolated island. And it was like a defense island to that harbour. But yeah, then it became a concentration camp in Mussolini's when he was leading. And now, it's a 5-star. That I just think that's so messed up. Apparently it was like €3,000 a night. Yeah. Like, what loon is... Like, I don't get it.
No, I think that's pretty... Like, we talk about dark tourism, but that's pretty dark. That's one of our hashtags, dark tourism.
Yes, it is. Well done for dropping it in.
I'm such an SEO.
You are, very SEO. It's good.
But actually it was close to there, wasn't it, where the skipper said to us if we were to go 2 or 3 minutes to the right of us, we'd have been in Croatia.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And he said, like, we'd have been instantly stopped by. They said the border police are really nice, but they'll just, like, sail up to him and be like, have you got your documents? Are you meant to be here? You're in a different country now. And then I think it was 5 hours the other way you'd have been in Italy. So it's a really cool spot. Like it's just not somewhere that I'd even thought about going. Kotor. Like
No.
It had never been on my radar. My brother had said to me that it's somewhere he wanted to go. So yeah, it seems to be a hot spot. Mostly people spoke English very well. We had some good food.
Oh, the food was excellent.
Yeah.
The food was excellent.
It was Resto Bar Taraka.
Resto Bar Taraka, well done. That was, if you're vegano or vegetarian, best restaurant to go in Kotor.
100%, because everything else is not that we've got anything against Italian food, I love it, but everywhere, much like in Kosovo, it's pizza, pasta, risotto, salad, sandwich. Those are your options.
It's just it's a strange thing, that, isn't it? I got really frustrated with that in Kosovo. There's also cafes everywhere. Like, one street could have 10 cafes. But their menus are all the exact same. Yeah,
it's so, they're not differentiating, so there's no unique selling point to any.
No, none of them will have oat milk or almond milk, so if you're vegan, you'll struggle in the cafe, which is shocking because it's a big cafe culture, and you can only get pasta, pizza and burgers, really.
Yeah.
And those things are nice, and we did have some nice meals there, but it was just we don't really want any more Italian food.
Yeah. You managed to get a traditional Montenegrin pancake.
Oh, I didn't. In Kotor, yeah. It was interesting. It was like a buckwheat pie, and it had a separate cup of yogurt. It was nice. It was different. It wasn't bad. It was quite savoury. It was nice. But yeah, the food there was excellent. The burger, the curry, I think was the best.
I think the burger was the best, apart from it was a bit sticky, but...
The burger was also great, and you were being filthy dipping it into that sauce.
The homemade sauce that it came with, it was some sort of fruity habanero sauce. It's a bit spicy, very sweet. Oh God, it's banging, but it's so sticky in there, so I got a bit overwhelmed. That's what it meant.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so worth it. So definitely go to that boat. It's got a beautiful view of the river. And on the boat tour also, we nearly got thrown off a boat, really, because the day we were supposed to go on the boat tour on the Saturday, it was crazy windy.
Yeah, outrageous. I don't think I've felt wind like it.
It was really big gusts. All the, the beds on the beaches were flying, towels were flying. And basically every boat tour operator cancelled it for that day, except for this one dodgy guy who was just basically scootering about, just basically stealing everyone's customers.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh yeah, they've cancelled, do you want to come with me? I'm still going. And basically just took everyone's customers.
Coached them all.
And he didn't have a thought, okay, well, surely he has a much more sturdy boat. He seems pretty confident. Every captain I've spoken to has said would not dare to go out in this. It's way too dangerous. And one of them said he did go out early and he had to come back in 10 minutes because it was too dangerous. And this guy had basically a dinghy.
Yeah.
It was the smallest boat, zero shade. And then he packed it, probably overpacked it.
Yeah.
And we both watched that and we're like, I don't know if they're going to come back.
Yeah, no, because then afterwards when we went down to the beach, you very sweetly protected me because there's a very large load of it was like something out of a film. It looked like when they do those special effects rides in Universal and stuff. It was just so sudden, waves coming up, water everywhere, and just the wind, like you say, blowing all the beds all over, and you protected me from it.
I did.
You did. You said it's only wind. It's only wind.
Don't worry.
Physically protecting me from that. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I would not have. That was just very shortly after they went out, and I was like, "Oh my God! If I'd been on a boat then, I would have had a meltdown."
It would have been so choppy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't expect. But luckily, we did. The next day was fine, and it was fantastic. And we got introduced to something called Manu.
Yeah.
Which is a New Zealand. It's a type of bomb, do you call them No, sorry, not a bomb. Not like that. A water bomb, a cannonball.
Yeah, a cannonball.
A water cannonball. The standard cannonball. Knees tucked up, hands around. Yeah. But this thing is called a Manu. And the best way to explain it, go on, Shelby, explain. She's great at explaining things.
So you jump up, and like in normal cannonball, you turn yourself into a ball and then go into the water. But they jump up and then like put their arms and legs out, so they're kind of like a V, and go in the water bum first. Which sounds quite painful actually, but it's a trend.
It's no, it's not just a trend. It's a heritage. It's actually comes from New Zealand, it's apparently it's the type of jump that will create the biggest splash in the water.
Okay.
So that's why it's that. Apparently, that makes more of a splash than the standard cannonball. And this guy was chatting, who we were convinced was Australian because he had
the most Australian look.
most Australian look, but he needs to update his look to be more American, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a strange one, but they were lovely. I thought he was just doing a terrible dive because his partner was doing excellent dives, and then he just kept doing this bizarre shape, and I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm not a great diver, but like, that is not even close.
Sounds like an upside down dive, isn't it?
Yeah, like, for one, you're pointing the wrong way. Like, how is this happening? And then I was like, I'm so confused, and I had to bring it up, and then he explained to Manu. And apparently there's even actual competitions they're from Santa Barbara, and apparently there's actual competitions of Manu.
That would be very cool to get to go and watch a bunch of people just jumping in and...
Yeah, the biggest splash wins.
There we go.
So there we go. And I just want to say, I know we're over the 20 minutes, my darling. We need to get to the next segments, but we need to give Shelby a round of applause because we went up to the top of the fortress in Kotor, and it's stunning, by the way. You can see it wherever you are in Kotor. It's quite a unique fortress because it goes literally just up this mountain cliff face. It's kind of insane how they built it. But it's quite unique. You know, most fortresses are at the top of a mountain or whatever. But this one, like, literally traversed. It was built into the mountain wall. And you could walk up to the top of it. And it took us about maybe 45 minutes. And we had no sun cream because every shop was closed. And it was just really, really steep. Really steep. And every turn you thought you were there, and then it would go on for like another 10 minutes. And a lot of people actually, we even met a couple who gave up. A lot of people gave up going up, and there was a lot of people stopping, like huffing and puffing, and looked like a couple of domestics had happened on the way up. But Shelby led the charge. She said, I'm not letting this beat me. And even with the little what we had and no sun cream, you went, I'm getting this done.
Yeah, well, and it was with your support, my darling. It was, couldn't have done it without you. It was definitely, there were many times throughout that I thought, oh my God, we must be nearly there. And then you can just see it, like, this is what my short will be about, and I'll put in videos and images, so check out our TikTok in a couple of days. It's going to be, it was just so high up, like, you could see the flag, but the flag looked like an ant, like, you know, and every time we'd get up to a new layer, and then I'd look up and be like, oh my God, the flag's still way up there. And then gorgeous little dog comes yomping up past me. So yeah, proud of the doggo for doing it. It was not easy at all. It's definitely not an easy, like, if you don't have a reasonable level of fitness, then I wouldn't recommend it. We had to pay €15 each to get in.
Yeah, it was expensive, and I think that it's way overpriced. €5 that push, but we thought it was worth. Why we thought it was, one, I thought it was a really unique fort, so I thought it'd be really interesting. I've never gone up into a fortress that literally goes into the mountain. And also I think it was going to be a good fitness challenge for us.
It was, and that's, you know, I'm not an exercise person. I really don't enjoy exercise at all. But I do like activities, and I do like hiking, and I like those kinds of personal challenges. Like, you know, I'll sign up for a 5K or a 10K just to prove that I can do it, kind of thing. So I do like those challenges, and that's something that Scott and I are going to do together to help improve my fitness. We're going to start going out and doing these kinds of things more.
We absolutely are. We've still got that one to do behind us.
Yeah, we've got a hike near us, so we'll do that at some point. Looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier than the fort. I think it will, because my leg was vibrating. Like, it was, like, you could just see, like, the twinge of it was the front of my thigh, like, just above my knee. Just like quivering because of the like the effort and strain going on there. legs. But we didn't, like you say, we met a young, fit-looking couple on our boat trip who didn't even make it to the top. So that made me feel even better about my achievement.
You smashed it, baby.
Thank you.
You absolutely smashed it. It was not easy. The heat was brutal. It was at least 37. It was...
Yeah, and no sun. That my biggest fear was the no sun cream on us. But by some miracle, we didn't burn.
Yeah, but we were being tactical with the shade and everything. And the reason we're not irresponsible, an interesting thing about Montenegro, which I think is a good thing really for locals, is literally all the shops shut on a Sunday. Even supermarkets, pharmacies, everything shut. The only thing open is like restaurants and bars. So it's very difficult to acquire any food or even sun cream. It is very difficult to acquire.
Yeah.
We went to like 4 different places to eventually find it. Yeah.
But we did.
We did, and I'm very proud of us for doing it.
Me too.
So there we go. It's time for Scott's WTF of the week. Every week the world gets a little weirder. Let's talk about the strangest thing that went down this week. From a pharaoh's curse to a cancer cure.
Oh.
Shelby's interested. Scientists might have just flipped an ancient curse into a modern cure. So there was a deadly fungus once blamed for the pharaoh's curse. Though to have killed tomb explorers, apparently in Egypt and Poland, which is interesting, it's now actually being tested as a powerful treatment for leukemia.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That's very crazy.
And in a new study, researchers from the University of Pennsylvania, that's where vampires are from, turned... Oh, Shelby's going to have to say this word. Turned...
Aspergillus.
Flavus. Shelby does all the grammar here if you're not familiar. The same fungus once found in King Tutankhamun's tomb into a cancer-fighting weapon. So this fungus basically was from a pharaoh's curse. It's killed a bunch of people in Egypt and Poland throughout the years, and now it's actually been treated for leukemia. How insane is that?
That's wild. Oh, it's like its penicillin was mold, wasn't it? So, like, I guess that's so interesting. Is it penicillin? I think it was mold.
I do not know. It produces molecules called RIPPS. That's a funny. Scientists just love to have fun, don't they? Which showed strong results against leukemia cells, on par with current FDA-approved treatments. Dr. Sherry says, "Oh, here we go. Fungi gave us penicillin. There's still so much nature can teach us. It's up to us to uncover its secrets." I totally agree.
How interesting. So basically, we need to leave our bread out for a few weeks, and then we can cure leukemia. That's not. Sorry, disclaimer. Not true.
Yeah, we have feared for. So there we go. It's pretty amazing. This medical breakthrough. Now they're testing it, and it seems quite promising. So strange, but also maybe it leans into the good vibes only segment. That.
Yeah, it will do. Very nicely will tie in. But I like how interesting, because I think there's a lot about ancient remedies that... Well, I suppose that wasn't an ancient remedy, it was more of an ancient curse to pharaohs. But like, you know, like the honey that was like put in the pyramids with the pharaohs and mummies and whatever else. Like that honey would still be edible today. Because honey is like antimicrobial and it's self-preserving. So... yeah, theoretically it never goes out of date if you have proper honey. But I just wonder like how many like ancient remedies there might be that we could learn from today. I
think there are so many. I don't think we'd have enough fingers or toes to count. I mean, I think surely the quickest route is just going to the people who have stuck with the natural remedies and haven't progressed to, what we see as society today in our cities and towns. Go to the tribes and see what they're doing. Understand their language, understand what they're doing, because they're finding many different plants, many different things around them that is keeping them alive, dealing with, acting as medicine to deal with issues. So I think surely they're the key to this, or definitely a fantastic starter to understand, because they're going to have the best knowledge of it, even better than our best scientists, because they live and breathe it. So more and more. I mean, you can see by what's the current generation, the most recent
Alpha.
Gen Alpha. Oh my goodness. Gen Alpha. They're more and more conscious, less drinking apparently, and more and more.
No, that'll be Gen Z then.
Oh,
Sorry,
Gen Z.
Gen Alpha's like my nephews.
Okay, Gen Z is a lot more conscious of what's going in your body. I would assume Gen Alpha are even more conscious of that. I wouldn't have.
Quite possibly, yeah.
This is what I'm hearing, at least. That people are a lot more conscious, and I mean, you've seen it as well in the marketing. You've seen it from brands. They're putting stamps of approvals on them more. They're listing out the ingredients more. There's a lot more people taking a lot more supplements, neurotropics. There's a lot more conversations. People now know what ashwagandha is.
Yeah.
Just 2 years ago they would have gone, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, like it was available. Obviously, it's an ancient remedy, but people just weren't talking about it.
Exactly. So, and TikTok's full of it. I think that's a positive thing that I'm seeing in the generations that are pushing towards that, and that'll create researchers, scientists, historians, all of them that will push for these natural remedies.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's funny you just brought to mind something that I saw about how Gen Z doctors are like so much more like chill, and like I suppose in line with that and being conscious of like other remedies, and like they'll just like be really saying things like, "I've got good news, your gallstones have left the group chat."
Oh my goodness!
And things like that.
Oh my god!
Like just using anyway, that amused me. And things like, if you're coming in with kidney problems or liver problems, being like, "Girl, alcohol's just not the one for you," or something like that. Like these kinds of funny phrases. And I just love it, like because I think the doctors can be quite intimidating and serious. So I love that there's like, there seems to be I've not personally experienced that, and I do really like my doctors. But yeah, it's quite amusing.
I think it's positive. I think overall it's really positive.
Yeah.
I think it's really positive, and that goes into the most positive segment we have.
Well, let's take a break from the chaos then, Scott, and here's something to make you smile this week. Shelby's good vibes only. Similarly to what we've just been discussing with medical discoveries, Swiss doctors have started prescribing museum visits for health boosts. So, particularly for things like mental health, but also physical health, they've started giving people like tokens to be able to go to, or prescriptions rather, to be able to go to art galleries and museums for free, to hopefully boost their mood. But also, I suppose it's like that active of walking around. They're saying that the key is getting patients out, walking, engaging, even if it's just for an hour. It's like something for them to do. They've also said that art can relax the mind. It's almost like a preventative medicine. During COVID, people realised how much we need these spaces to feel better. So, doctors are now prescribing art visits, museum visits.
Well, I think that's very progressive that they're doing that. I hope that happens in all GPs. I can never imagine that happening in my GP, but I hope it does.
I could envision it, I could really picture
in your
it.
GP, yeah, you have a great GP.
I do.
You have a GP that is more progressive.
Yeah, but I could see him like, prescribing. Well, I mean, you can get prescriptions for the gym, can't you? You can. My GP actually has a gym within it that I can use for free.
Wow.
Which is wild. Like that's so cool, isn't it? Like, but I could envision a future in which there's a more blended, holistic approach. In fact, when I was having like digestion issues when I was younger, it turns out it was anxiety, but the doctor that I saw about it, he was of Indian descent, and he recommended to me that Ayurvedic doctor that I recommended to you. So I thought that was really cool that a Western, I know he's not, his heritage isn't Western, but he practices Western medicine, and yet he suggested that I went to see an Eastern medicine doctor.
Yeah, I think right now it's if you get the right doctor. I think there are some great ones that, I mean, there are a lot of great ones, but I think there are some more unique ones that will go a bit more outside of maybe what would be classed as the norm from their teachings.
Yeah.
And I think that's great that they're willing to, read up more up-to-date knowledge and, go a bit outside of it. I think that's safe. They've got a lot of reading around it, a lot of expertise to be able to do that. They're not just going to recommend a random TikTok short.
Yeah.
They're going to, take on board what they've read and compare it to what they know, and that's going to be a much more, educated recommendation. So I think it's really beautiful that they do that. I think art is a funny one. I think art is one that I've never been hugely interested in art throughout my life, but when I have gone to art exhibits, I've really appreciated it. It's hard to explain because I'm not a big artiste, but is that even a word?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. But I went, the extra special one I went to was in Chicago. I mean, it was voted one of the best in the world. It's just unbelievable. It has everyone you could imagine in there, and there is something, it's quite thought-provoking in a way. And we've been to a lot of good ones as well. And there's something about it where you can just get lost in a painting and it can tell you a story without having to say anything. And there is something about that. I don't think I'm very good at articulating because I don't know enough about art, but I have come out feeling a bit more refreshed from an art exhibit, and I do enjoy a good art exhibit. I do. I'm not someone who's going to go to a random pop-up, but if it's known for being, having a lot of pieces in, then, like the Louvre or the Chicago one, then I know I'll get enjoyment out of it. I think it's quite therapeutic. It's not labor intensive. You just go and appreciate these stories being told in quite creative and unique ways. And you kind of just see how someone's brain is working. And I particularly lean towards more old art.
Yeah.
I prefer the much older art versus sort of the modern.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I prefer, to be honest. I'm kind of a mix of, like a sculpture as well, don't I?
Oh, sculptures, like Greek sculptures
Yeah.
are just beautiful to see how smooth the marble is with the eyes, the notes. They're beautiful.
Yeah, and just like that, how they can capture that movement in stillness. Like,
Yes.
It's bizarre. I feel like such a pretentious, like, there's so much movement in the
No,
stillness.
that's true. The movement is like the hardest bit to capture.
But I can totally, like, I think visiting an art gallery or a museum, like you said, is very therapeutic, and I can see how it would benefit someone who was going through a hard time emotionally. It's calm, it's peaceful. You're not scrolling endlessly through your phone, but you've got interesting things to look at. Each new image can give you a different emotion. It can make you feel something else.
Well, it might be the fact that if you are going through a tough time and there is something that, let's say someone's passed away, you might, because you can interpret a lot from an art piece, you might find an art piece with no writing against it, but all of a sudden you could maybe see that story that you could see the pain you're facing in it. You could see, oh my God, this artist had the same pain as I did.
Yeah.
And it might not be a direct translation into the, sometimes it's just the way that colours are used. It's the way the sort of the colours merge into one another. It doesn't even have to be a descriptive scene. It's kind of, that's why I struggle to articulate it. And it does sound a little pretentious, but if you go to me, you open your mind, you will understand what we're trying to pry at here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We do love our art.
The only side note of negativity, and we shouldn't end with negativity, is we're in a Van Gogh Airbnb, and let's just say I'm not a lover of Van Gogh.
I am.
Yeah. Shelby is, so one of us is happy.
So I'm happy. Yes, I do like Van Gogh.
Yeah, I just don't like his paintings, but anyway. And I'm telling you, for a small apartment, this is basically an art exhibition. There's about 15 pieces of his art here. And yeah, I'm sure there's someone on listening to this like saying you are privileged to have that, but I just don't like Van Gogh.
And it is. Can we also just say though, it's a very nice apartment, isn't it? Like it's not like
it's a beautiful apartment.
the walls
Everything's
aren't
great.
painted
No. It's an amazing apartment. I would recommend it, but I hate Van Gogh.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure he's a lovely man.
couldn't hear very well.
No, he couldn't. No, he definitely couldn't. There is a film on him, actually.
Is there?
Yeah, the guy who played Goblin in Spider-Man plays him.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Is that right?
You're always right with that. It will be. Anyway, another adventure wrapped up.
But the journey never ends.
Keep your bags packed for the next one. And remember, when in doubt, just say,
Yalla
Yalla Habibi. See you next time.